Hi, this is Anurag. Today I wanted to discuss on something which has been to a topic very close to my heart, and I've got a lot of insights on this through my interaction with GMCS students over the last 5 years. So what has happened is that when I go to any GMCS session and I talk to people into why they've actually opted for the CA course, the typical answers eventually boil down to this one phenomenon of people jumping onto the CPT bandwagon after class 12 because they thought that was the coolest thing to do. So after your class 12 board results, all that you do is to take an extra accountancy class from Shantu sir or from economics from Rajendra sir and prepare for the CPT exams. And Jai Mata Di, you actually crack it. So one of the wonderful things about the CA CPT exams is that you either clear it in June or in all probability you clear it in December. The idea is to give students an entry into the profession and then allow them probably the opportunity to test waters. The paradox in this situation here is that with the 40% pass percentage in the CPT exams and then a 7, 8 or a 9% pass percentage in the CA finals, it's an inverted structure. You'll have different views onto whether that's good or bad, but to my mind I think the better alternative rather is the fact that you filter people at the entry level just like a typical IAS exam does or an MBA exam does, and make sure that people who enter the course after that strict filtering round actually qualify as professionals after the end of 4 years or 5 years or 3 years, whatever is the designated duration of the course. Now here what is happening is that once student enter the course after class 12, lured by the apparently very easy to crack CPT exams, then what happens is that once you clear CPT, your parents give you 30,000-40,000 rupees of venture capital funding. And so what you do is that you enroll at these various tuitions. So if you look at the Calcutta example, you go to a Vivek Soni for taxation and a Manish Zandaria for accountancy. Accountancy in some cases where people actually opt for that combo offer. But yeah, in many cases accountancy will be the prerogative of a Praveen Sharma or a Sudarshan Agarwal. And then you will have some ISKA classes, some law audit classes. So the next 1 year with the bag on one shoulder and the WhatsApp on the other hand, you move around in tuitions and kind of forge friends as well. And then what happens is that you clear CA IPCC. Once you clear CA IPCC, what essentially happens is that there's a lot of euphoria in the air. You put it on Facebook, finally CA finalist or CA IPCC cleared, thank you mom. So the moment you post this on Facebook, you get this one post from some cousin in Siliguri. Wow Sumit bhaiya, you are an inspiration for us. And someone say, congrats Sumit, this really means you studied and burned the midnight oil. A lot of likes, a lot of Facebook posts, and then it's a trending thing. Your WhatsApp is full of those messages. Your close friends for life or BFF as it's called in the current scenario get that Pizza Hut party or a Domino's pizza party. You go to a mandir and say, hey Bhagwan ji, aap mujhe pass kar diye. And that prasad is distributed around Tinsel town as a subtle advertisement of the fact that hamara beta ya hamari beti half CA ban chuki hai. Fast forward to day 2 and then that reality strikes. अबे तेरे पास कोई सीवी का फॉर्मेट है क्या? क्यों? अरे यार आर्टिकलशिप के लिए अप्लाई करना है ना. And then everyone applies for that standard resume format. They say the career objective to strive relentlessly for excellence in a meritocratic organization where my individual goals are aligned with that of the organization, allowing each to thrive in a mutually beneficial environment. Can work under pressure, meet deadlines, and take risks. Ironically, there are just 5 to 6 career objectives that keep floating around the entire market. So this guy will copy it from this guy, and then someone else will do a slight tweaking and then put it on his or her resume. And then you write CA/IPCC cleared May 2016 or November 2016, the term in which you clear it. And then you write CA/CPT. In case it's first attempt, you'll write first attempt there. In case it's 60% and above, you'll try to write something, or distinction in 4 subjects. Coming to college, in case in Calcutta you are from St. Xavier's or from JD Birla or a Shiksha Yatan or a South City or Goenka, you write the college name. Else you write Calcutta University, because you really don't want to disclose for whatever matters that you belong to those non-elite colleges in some way. So you really don't want to write a Bhavani. I've not seen, for example, someone writing Bhavanipur Gujarati Education Society or Umesh Chandra College. So in most cases it comes across as Calcutta University, and then your higher secondary and secondary school name, and then percentage. In some cases it's second in school, fourth in school. And then successfully completed the 100 hours of ITD training from the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. There was one massive CAT exam where 98 percentile and above were the ones who actually cracked this and were given this coveted opportunity to appear for this ITD training. Successfully completed 7-day orientation from the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. Coming to hobbies and extracurriculars. So coming to hobbies, it's reading. What do you read, ma'am? I read my study materials, the spiral bound materials of my tuition teachers, and I've read 5 Point Someone and 2 States, and I read a bit of things. Okay, then writing. So that's the next hobby, which is the cult hobby in town. So what do you write? Do you have a blog? And you've got followers on Twitter, or what exactly do you do? No, when I write something on Facebook, I get a lot of likes. That has its own connotation, because when people essentially like your status updates, the only underlying motive could be that they want to signal to you that I really like you, and therefore I am liking any damn post that you do. And then listening to music is one default hobby, and then and there's a CA fresher who wrote into me and said, my hobby is chilling around with friends. Rarely would you get someone with a Sudoku or you're doing some playing musical instruments. That is something which acts as a differentiator, by the way. And then as coming to extracurriculars, played carom and stood second in class 7. Awesome. Was school prefect in class 12. Decent. Organized Abhivakti 2013, an inter-college competition or inter-school competition organized by the Nature Club. Was my secretary of the Friends youth group in my school. Languages known: Hindi, English, Bengali, Marwadi. Some people will put a box, read, write, speak. Then languages known is done. Then you've got your father's name, your mother's name. भाई बीच में अगर कोई रिश्ता आ गया तो ऊपर में श्री गणेशाय में टिका और ये बायोडाटा बन गया. Then date of birth, passport number, as if वो आप जाते ही आपको एकदम US में भेज देगा. And then you have a cover letter, which is again a very classic copy paste. Dear HR, I've come to know from sources that there exists a vacancy in your organization. Myself, being a meritocratic CA/IPCC student, want to apply, and I'm sure that you'll find my credentials worth your consideration. Now with this resume, essentially the problem is that you've not really differentiated on what exactly you've done. Now the next day when you go to this big 4 firms, because that's the common aspiration, to aspire for the big 4, PwC, Deloitte, EY, KPMG, you go to this receptionist and you have this James Bond kind of a feeling. I'm cleared CA/IPCC, here's my resume, and she gives you a cold look. Okay, give it to that security guy or put it in that box, and you're shell shocked. What? They didn't really, that James Bond feeling, where's that? And then you wait for these big 4 calls which come, and then for the next 1 month you study your IFRSs and your Ind ASs, and those calls don't come, and then you find that champu friend of yours. No offense meant, I'm just trying to humorize the situation. You find that friend of yours putting a status update on Facebook, joining as an intern tomorrow at this particular audit firm. You find, ये इसका हो गया, मेरा क्यों नहीं हुआ? And then you ask him, what's your stipend, dude? I say, I'll draw 12,000 in the first year and 15,000 in the second year and 18,000 in the third year. I've got this laptop. Yeah, and whenever I go for my audit, I'll take, mineral water all week. And it's like, okay, then so you then settle for then you realize that life is not fair. You've got this something called connects, reference, source. All these words come into the picture. And sorry, I'm a 1G, I'm the first generation education aspirant in my family, born to a family of traders, and mom is a housewife. How do I bring this source now? And so there is 1G versus 2G versus 3G thing in life. Dadaji is also a professional, father is also a professional, and then you a pair. Life takes a different turn. And then you settle for the next level of the firms, the Lodha, Singhi, Salarpuri, Ajadotia, DB Desai of the world, GP Agarwals of the world. There you go, and they on the face they will ask you, "Aap kiske reference se aaye hain?" And before, at least they call rank holders, and they'll take some of the rank holders because those companies are very particular about quality in some way or the other. Here they will simply ask you, "अच्छा आप केडिया जी के भांजे हैं? ठीक है, कल से आ जाइए." अरे केडिया जी को हम 20 साल से जानते हैं, बहुत अच्छा है. आपके क्या फूफा जी लगते हैं क्या? अच्छा आप नौसरिया जी के यहाँ से आए हैं क्या? अरे कुछ पूछ ले भाई, अकाउंटिंग वगैरह के बारे में पूछ ले. ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं. And then the ones who don't have a Mosa or a Fufa of that set, then will settle for those Agarwal and Company and Kedia and Company and Surana and Company series of audit firms which are lined up on Dalhousie. And essentially what happens is that those firms, because it's a last day, you are not getting anything. So, and then some people will settle for probably just signing a tacit agreement and say, okay, it's dummy and associates for me. And then what they do essentially is that for the next 1 year, you are going for concurrent audit of Allahabad Bank, of Dalhousie branch, and you 6 guys will do some NPA verification, some fee income things, some stock audit statements. You really can't claim reimbursement as well, because the rule is home to client or office to client, whichever is lower. And since it's office to client is a walking distance, you really can't crack it. And coming to the lunch expenses, so the first day when the client gives you some complete freedom to go and eat anything, you come up with a bill of 1600 rupees for 4 people or 5 people, and then to the next day there's a limit set, X rupees per day. Fair enough. Then you bring a tiffin box from home and you try to claim that, because the stipend in essentially is like 1500, 1800, 2000, 3000, and then you say, okay boss, कुछ तो करना पड़ेगा. Now then किसी को अगर इंटरनल ऑडिट भेज देता है तो वो नेक्स्ट 1 साल तक चाय बगान का इंटरनल ऑडिट ही कर रहा होता है, या किसी बालासोर में किसी मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कंपनी का इंटरनल ऑडिट कर रहा होता है, और यहाँ पे उसका माफा का ट्यूशन स्टार्ट हो जाता है. एंड वो अपने फ्रेंड को बोलता है जिस दिन ट्यूशन स्टार्ट होता है कि भाई कैसा हुआ क्लास, एंड फ्रेंड भी कमीना, सर गजब पढ़ाए, ऑसम पढ़ाए गुरु, क्या मजा आ गया. पता है एक आई कांटेक्ट, उसको पता है आपको आई कांटेक्ट नहीं मिलेगा इस टॉपिक पे, आपको बैकअप क्लासेस करना पड़ेगा. सर क्या गजब पढ़ाए यार, मजा आ गया. एक आई कांटेक्ट होता है ना, कॉन्सेप्ट एकदम क्रिस्टल क्लियर होता है यार, मतलब क्लास का एक फील आता है. एक काम कर, ठीक है तुम बैकअप कर लेना, जब आप कैलकाटा आते हैं देन यू सेटल फॉर द अदिति ऑफ द वर्ल्ड. But then that is that one diligent lady who will meticulously maintain the notes. अगर क्वेश्चन ब्लू में लिख रहा है, आंसर ब्लैक में लिख रहा है, फिर अगर कोई डायग्राम होता है तो स्केल से बनाना है, फिर उसको हर कॉपी का हर पेज को नंबर करना है, एक इंडेक्स बनाना है, उसको क्रॉस रेफरेंस करना है अपने स्टडी मटेरियल के साथ. एंड इस कॉपी के एक्सचेंज के दौरान लॉट ऑफ गुड थिंग्स हैपन इन लाइफ. जस्ट लाइक lot can happen over coffee, a lot of good things in life can happen over this notes exchange as well. इसी को अगर ऑफिस में रखते हैं ना तो सीधी सादी बच्ची दादी बोली है कि आप आउट स्टेशन नहीं जाने देना होगा, आपको ये मानना पड़ेगा. देन उसको क्या मिलता है, यू गेट अ लॉट ऑफ वर्क. एंड in these typical firms what happens is that, I mean, again these firms are doing very good work with respect to their SME client base, but the idea is that today with 80% of the CA students wanting to actually enter industry, branding and the scale of work is something that kind of becomes a mismatch in many cases. So what happens is that अगर कोई internal to an office अगर काम कर रहा है, so this whole thing moves in sets, जैसे सुराना जी का पूरा सेट, सुराना जी, उनकी वाइफ, उनका HUF, उनका बेटा, उनकी बहू, एक माइनर का फाइल, एक ट्रस्ट का फाइल, ये पूरा लॉट में मूव करता है. एंड व्हाट हैपेंस इज दैट आपको क्लाइंट एक बैंक स्टेटमेंट दे देगा एंड उसमें अनरिकनसाइल्ड बहुत सारे आइटम्स होंगे एंड देन यू आर सपोज टू मेक अकाउंट्स फ्रॉम दैट. सो आप अपने प्रिंसिपल के पास जाके बोलेंगे सर ये देखिए ये 6 लाख रुपए का एक चेक आया हुआ है, अक्टूबर में क्या होगा. बोले ठीक है, एक बार इसको सस्पेंस में डाल के आगे बढ़ो. फिर आप उसको फाइनली, बिकॉज ही ऑल्सो डज नॉट वांट टू गेट डिस्टर्ब डे इन एंड डे आउट, जब आप पा करते हैं पूरा कुछ वो सेटल करते हैं, दिखता नहीं है तुमको ये इसके साथ नॉक ऑफ हो गया, ये हो गया, कुछ उनको भी नहीं पता. आयरॉनिकली मजा यह बात है जब आप क्लाइंट को फोन करते हैं, क्लाइंट बोलता है हमको भी याद नहीं है, आपको जो उचित लगे दिनेश जी से पूछ के लगा दीजिए इसमें. एंड देन here what happens is that one interesting thing is that once you diligently complete this entire Sunana lot and you go to your boss and say that boss it's done, the only reward you get for good work is more work. अच्छा ये हो गया, अच्छा फिर आप एक काम करिए, आप भजंका जी का फाइल उठा लीजिए. And that's strictly it is like till 6:30 or 7 o'clock till the time the shutters are down, they will keep you engaged in something or the other, which is good, I mean, in some way, but yeah. So what happens is here that your CA finals come, and then you see some of your students who've been a bit senior to you, maybe some of them getting jobs after qualifying as CAs, and then those are not those big ticket jobs. Everyone, it's like a complete pyramid out there. At the top of the pyramid, one interesting thing about the CA course is that at the top of the pyramid you've got people who command salaries of 24 lakhs per annum. At the bottom of the pyramid you have people commanding 2.4 lakhs per annum, and they are all products of the same institute, by the way, and in terms of the branding it's the same, but yeah, the market itself differentiates then based on number of attempts, etc. And some people might not really land up with those rosy jobs, and then you kind of start questioning the whole thing. I mean, am I doing the right thing? I'm struggling between tuitions, my articleship, my love life has gone for a toss, my girl has ditched me or the guy has ditched me, should I apply for CAT and all. But one of the fundamental things that I have observed to the last so many years is that CA as a course is one of the best courses in the world. The reason is that this course gives you such a firm footing in the world of accounting, finance, costing. Because I've seen both sides of the world. I've been a CA student and cleared with some particular ranks in inter and final. I've been to a premier B school in the country. The best combination is, I think, CA plus MBA. But in case you are just an MBA, in many cases what happens is that you will not really want to get into the thick of things. So this is very good in terms of strategy, formulation. You put a 20,000 feet view, but getting into the thick of things, that is one discipline which CA really teaches you. So my friends, the humble submission that I wanted to tell you is that in spite of all the kind of despondency in there, because there are so many doomsayers who are all around and say, अरे CA क्या है जी, ये तो 10,000 रुपए में CA मिलते हैं. And after having CA job portal, I've interacted with corporates across the globe, and I say कि ठीक है अंकल, कल 50 ऐसे CA आप हमें दिला दीजिए, हम ही रख लेंगे 5 लाख रुपए महीने में 50 CA. And then they are like scouting for answers. So this course, if you look at all the major people who've cleared it in the world, Rakesh Jhunjhunwala, the pioneer of the stock market, Aparna Roy, who is from NDTV, Kumar Mangalam Birla, one of the premier industrialists in the country. Everyone is a chartered accountant in many ways. This is one go-to course for a commerce aspirant, and therefore please keep these negative people at bay and try to focus on what exactly you want out of life. As far as this course selection is concerned, yeah, this is one of the best courses, and you'll have to figure out where do you see yourself on the bell curve or on that pyramid from a 24 lakhs to a 2.4 lakhs. So some people will settle for 24 lakhs at companies like HUL, PNG, Marico, Citibank, and then rank holders being recruited in good leadership programs like Aditya Birla Lead and Lead or Airtel leadership program for rank holders. Some in the middle of the pyramid In fact, yeah, I missed on this ITC, which has this kind of halo effect around it, especially for students of Calcutta. In the middle of the pyramid, you'll have companies like Tata Steel, Vedanta, or an Infosys or a Wipro cohort. So they'll pay anywhere between 6 lakhs to 12 lakhs. And you'll also have companies like the oil PSUs, which pay a mammoth sum of money, 20 lakh rupees to a fresher after the 7th pay commission. So for there, you actually need a lot of combination of good luck as well as talent. So hold your horses and keep fighting the battle. I think at the end of it, many people emerge victorious.